So I thought I would do a quick update on where I am with my Tamiya 1/350 scale USS Enterprise. I've just completed the tower, so that's built and just painted. I've just given it the base coat, so they'll get a bit of detail, then a gloss coat, and the decals will go on that next. And as you can see, I've finished painting the main flight deck and pretty much the main hull underneath. There's a lot of sort of side details to go down, like life rafts and antennas and reels and all that, but it's mostly there. I've started on a bit of weathering, so I've got a bit of rust detail, and a wash has gone down over most of the hull. I've built it with all the elevators in the up position, just because I thought it would give the deck, it gives the deck just a bit more presence. The main issue I've had with this kit, I discovered quickly after buying it. I really should have done a bit more research, but to make this kit really exceptional you need a lot of aftermarket parts, such as photo etch and extra decals, sort of make it a bit more modern than the what the kit depicts. This is the kit. The kit's version is from the mid 1980s, and I've wanted to do a sort of 2000s version, so with Super Hornets and more modern aircraft. But there's a lot of extra detail that's missing from the modern version, so sort of extra radars that go on the front of the bridge there and along the edge of the flight deck. Those sort of parts I've found really difficult to find. Well, to be honest, I haven't found anything really. And extra decals, so the USS Enterprise name that goes on the front of the bridge. You can find aftermarket decals, but they exist. There's a lot of sites that have them out of print, and I've looked on eBay for weeks and weeks, and I just can't find anything. So I'm just going to pretty much have to leave it for now. So it's going to be sort of a Frankenstein Enterprise, a mix of 1985 hull with a late 2000s aircraft, and that's pretty much how it's just going to have to be for now. I mean, I've tried, but I just can't find anything to sort of get this kit more up to date. But that's fine. I mean, I've had fun building it so far. I had a lot of fun masking and painting this deck. It was a lot of masking to get all those white landing strips down. I've just used a bit of nylon for the arrestor wires here, and a lot of videos I've seen of flight deck operations, these wires tend to leave a lot of rust stains on the deck, so I put a bit of a rust wash underneath there, and some nice exhaust stains there on the blaster deflectors, and sort of tyre aircraft marks coming off the elevator, and a bit more where the aircraft touched down when landing. And yeah, so far it's coming along quite nicely. It's taken quite a while. I think I might have a short break soon. Once I get this tower done, I may put it aside and start building something else. These really long projects, sometimes I just need a little bit of a break, just to keep me sane really. I have the number, the Enterprise number there on the edge of the flight deck. Instead of trying to paint that, I mean there's no decal provided, so I found this really cool ink, just white ink pen. It's a free flowing ink, and there's a sort of a tiny ridge mould line along there, so that was really easy just to trace around with the pen, so that was fairly easy. And I did the same for the elevator. I'm not quite sure what these are called, just sort of edge strips. So I just made a white dot, used this pen, made a white dot along all of these mould lines, and then just painted over with a light yellow. Again, there was no decals provided, so you pretty much have to do that yourself. And yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have replaced all of these the mesh there along the side of the deck to stop people falling over. Would have loved to have replaced that with a photo etch, but there is photo etch sets out there that I've found, but they are quite expensive, and I've spent quite a lot on this kit already, so I just sort of resigned myself to just building it out of the box as is. A lot of the rigging on the tower here I just used stretch sprue, heating it up and stretching it, and then cutting it to size, and then carefully just gluing it all on. I'll be attempting to attach a lot of signal flags and naval flags along that rigging in the middle there. So that should be fun. I've also got in the windows some crew figures, just a few in there, on 350 scale. But these are the same crew members that I used for my Star Trek Enterprise 350 scale, which is the Fujimi Imperial Japanese Navy crew. So yes, they're from the wrong navy, but at this scale you can't really tell. So all of these will be painted up, all the different colours that the flight deck use, and I'll just scatter them around the deck, and which I find should be a better option than the photo etch 2D versions, which kind of look a bit flat to me, even though you can get sort of pre-painted ones with lots of nice detail. I'll prefer the 3D element. So yeah, it's those. And the aircraft you see here, they're just the ones that came with the Tamiya kit. I've just been using them just to test out various bits and pieces, but I'll be using Trumpeter's aftermarket set, so I've got 6 boxes of different aircraft. I've got some Vikings, the Prowler, 2 boxes of Super Hornets, the single seat version and the twin seat version, the Seahawk helicopter, some Hawkeyes of course, every carrier needs some of them, and 2 boxes of Legacy Hornets, so the C's and the D's, single and twin seat version. So that's 8 boxes. So you get 6 per box, 6 planes per box, and I've got 8 boxes of those, so that's going to keep me busy for a while. But yeah, I'll probably get onto those in a couple of weeks or so. So yeah, so I thought I'd just make this video just so you guys know that this exists. I've mentioned it before in some of my other videos, so this is proof that it's real and it's almost done. And once the planes go down, I think it'll start to look quite the piece. Yeah. So I guess that's really all there is to say about that. I guess I will point out the sort of the biggest flaw that I've come across in this kit so far is that I painted all these sections, all the flight deck sections, before sticking them all down, because it was easier to mask and paint. But what I found is they don't quite match up. As you can see, there's quite a nasty gap there, and one here which is strategically hidden by that Hornet. But there's another sort of a ridge gap there. It's easier to see when the certain light hits it. So that was going to be too difficult, too much work to sort of clean up after all the paint had gone down. So I think what I'll do is just what you saw before. In those spots I'll just have a few aircraft down to sort of hide the crime, so to speak. And yeah, I mean that's really my only major problem with the kit so far. Everything else is fit together perfectly in a typical Tamiya style. And yeah, so I guess we'll see how it looks when it's all done. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and there will be more updates to come, so make sure you subscribe to keep an eye out. And yeah, so I think next on the shelf will be this, which I've posted on my blog, Ming's 135 scale tortoise, experimental heavy assault tank that the British used at the end of World War II. Only a few of these were built, I believe, so at the moment I'm sort of debating whether to paint this as a museum version like they've got in the Tank Museum, or to paint it up as if it was being used in the war, so sort of give it a lot of weathering and battle damage. But I haven't quite made up my mind yet. Let me know what you think it should be painted as. I'll be interested to hear your opinions. So yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time.